And so I'm kicking things off by taking the number 7 Stay Perfect eyeshadow primer, and this is quite fluid, so I'm using a brush to apply this. It's going to absorb the excess primer and just make sure that I don't over apply the product to the lid. Now I'm going in with the Urban Decay Born to Run eyeshadow palette, as I had requests for another tutorial featuring the palette, and I'm beginning with the shade Riff, and I'm using this as my transition shade just to help the other shadows blend that bit easier later on, and I'm working this shadow from outer corner right across the crease using circular motions, so from outer corner to inner corner. Then I'm using a small bullet shaped brush and blending this shadow down along the lower lash line, and I'm repeating this process just to build up the intensity. So I've started again in the crease using circular motions to really round the shadow out, and once I'm done with the crease I'm running the brush down along the lower lash line to really buff out those edges. Next, I'm switching to my favourite sleek palette, the Ultra Mattes Volume 2 palette, and I'm taking this matte green shade. So, same as before, patting it down on the outer third of the eye, and then I'm bringing it across into the crease. This time though, I'm patting the shade down on the inner third of the eye too, because we're going for a spotlight / halo look today, and at this point I'm not really fretting about the blending. I just want to get some colour on the eye area, and I want to start working on the shape. We can always build on that later on. Now I'm using an angled brush to pat green down along there too, and as you can see the green is much more vibrant down here, and that's because I'm using a smaller, more dense brush. The fluffier the brush, the less product it'll distribute. Now I don't want there to be a harsh edge along there, so I'm using my pencil brush to lightly soften those edges, but I really want to buff that shadow out, so I'm going back in with my fluffy blending brush and sweeping around the edges. So this is where we're at so far. It's fine, but it could be better. So I'm going in now with a second helping of that green eyeshadow, and I'm layering it now so that the green really packs a punch. And you can repeat this process as many times as you want until you're happy with the intensity. Next, I'm taking a full coverage concealer, and I'm using this to kind of cut into the crease and to lighten up that centre part, just so that our spotlight shade will really pop. And most people do that thing where they apply the concealer and then look up so that they know where to cut. I don't know, I can't really get the hang of it. It's actually a tip I find hard to do. I prefer to just go in with a C-shaped brush and cut out the shape myself. It's all personal preference really though. If you're following along and you see me doing a technique and you've an easier way of doing things, roll with that, do what's handiest for you. But once I've cleaned up that centerpiece, then I'm taking the shade Wanderlust from my Born to Run palette, and I'm using a flat C-shaped brush to pat this on the inner and outer corners, and this shade has golden flecks running throughout it, so it's really going to complement that spotlight shade. I'm taking that matte green shade from my sleek palette again, and I'm using a flat brush just to define that section in the crease. Then I'm going to pick up some more green on a small pencil brush, and now I'm just using this to reapply the green around the eye, and I'm also using that brush just to fade out the shadow as well. But again, if you find it easier to do that with a fluffy blending brush, work away. Next, I'm taking the shade Stranded on a flat C-shaped brush, and I've just wet the brush with a little water and I'm applying it to the lid just to fill in that blank space. And this gold, I think it's really beautiful, and I love the combination of gold and green together. I think it's really festive. To add some depth, I'm going in with the shade Punk from the Born to Run palette, and I'm using a small pencil brush again to apply this shade just on the very outer and inner corners, and then I'm bringing it up into the crease. Once I've done that, then I'm taking it down along the lower lash line too with an angled brush, and then I'm switching back to my sleek palette and I'm taking some of this matte black eyeshadow and I'm deepening up the look a bit further. So I'm starting up in the crease using my flat brush just to define that area, and then I'm going back to a small pencil brush and I'm adding some of the black either side of it on the outer and inner corner, making sure to join up in the centre. Moving down to the lower lash line again, I'm using that flat brush to pack the black eyeshadow into the lashes, and I'm flicking my brush downwards as I make my way across the eye just to blend it out. For liner then, I'm using this black one from number 7 and I'm just lining the waterline. Then I'm adding some lashes from Kiss, and once I've got that sorted, I'm going to work on the inner corner of the eye. So to highlight there, I'm using the Stranded shade that I used on the centre of the lid, and I'm using a small bullet shaped brush to apply that shade, and I just think it ties the look really nicely together. To finish off the look then, I'm using some mascara to blend my own lashes in with the false ones, and then that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and found it helpful. If you did, please let me know, and I'll chat to you all soon.